For many years, I was in business. I'm a Chinese businessman living in the Philippines. And in my 20s, even up to 30s, I was not tithing at all. And Malachi tells us that we have to give our tithe into the storehouse. And that there is an awesome curse of God by that doing it. I didn't know that. So in that business that we had, there were many bad years. Labor problem, customers not paying, suppliers bad quality, all kinds of problems. I didn't know it at that time, but I was under a curse for not tithing and not knowing about it. So in 1979, my wife and I were challenged to join this company, but there is only one condition. And the condition is that as an executive of that company, we have to sign an agreement that we are going to give 50% must be given for the spread of the gospel. Now, perhaps as a young man, you would think that's impossible. Well, probably if you asked me 34 years ago, it might be open to debate. But 34 years have passed, and the amount that I've tithed is many, many times that of what I would have earned in the other company without tithing. It was no sacrifice, because laying up treasures in heaven is much more important and more interesting. Life is uncertain. Only one life, it will soon be past. Only what is done for Christ will last. Jesus tells us that he is a fool who gets rich on earth, but not in heaven. So lay up treasures in heaven. God is a God of networking business. I think there are commissions that go up the line. And perhaps a little bit of those fruits that were done get credited. Like all the fruits that we are doing will be credited to Peter, Paul, and all the disciples too. As a businessman, we don't get that kind of return on our investment. So giving is a very smart thing to do. I would like to challenge people who are not tithing to start tithing their 10%. If they are doing 10%, I'd like to suggest you increase to 15, 20. Maybe like us, reach 50. Some of us are already giving more than 50 because years are getting short. All those money has no use remaining here on earth. So I think it was Martin Luther who said, I've held so many things in my hand, but in the end, I lose it all. It's only the things that I hand over to God that I get to keep. And as businessmen, when we give money to the Lord, as businessmen, our primary objective is return on investment. We want to know that we are investing in the most profitable kingdom enterprise that we can. The Bible says, what does it profit a man to gain the whole world but lose his own soul? One soul is worth more than all the wealth of the entire world. And my way of thinking is, perhaps every time we lead somebody to Christ and one soul entered into the gates of heaven, perhaps that is the amount of wealth that we are sending to heaven. What could be a better business deal than that? The saving of souls.